My wife, Priya, said this to me right in the middle of a huge argument. I had no idea at the time, but that one sentence, man, it was about to completely rewire how I think about everything, about relationships, apologies, and, that feeling of just having to be right.
So picture this. It's 6 in the morning. We are stressed. We are running late for a flight to Mumbai for her cousin's wedding. And what are we doing? We're arguing about the best way to get to the airport. Now, you got to understand, I'm a data guy. I trust the numbers. So when we had to choose between two routes,
I was all in on my choice, the Outer Ring Road. I mean, come on, Google Maps itself, crunching real-time traffic, said it was a solid 37 minutes. But Priya, who drives in this city literally every day, she insisted Sarjapur Road was the way to go, even though the app said it was 42 minutes. She mumbled something about construction, but I figured, hey, data's always more reliable than a gut feeling, right?
and then she gave in. She just said, "Fine," with this tone that I probably should have recognized as a giant, flashing red flag. But nope. I started the car, feeling pretty smug, actually. Logic won. The system worked. What could possibly go wrong? This is what went wrong. We missed our flight by 12 minutes. We got stuck in the exact construction traffic she warned me about, the one the all-powerful algorithm hadn't seen. 12 minutes. That's the difference between grabbing a coffee at the gate and watching your plane leave without you.
So there we are, 4 hours later, sitting in the airport lounge waiting for the next flight. And would you believe it, I was still trying to win the argument. I kept explaining my process, how my decision was sound, how it was just an edge case. I was digging myself deeper and deeper into what I now call the correctness trap.
And that's when Priya puts her book down, looks me dead in the eye, and hits me with this. And it stopped me cold, because I realized, oh my God, those are not the same thing at all. I thought I was explaining myself, but all she was hearing was me refusing to admit the reality of where we were.
You know, in systems thinking, you always have to ask what you're optimizing for. And right there, in that airport lounge, it hit me. Priya and I were playing two totally different games. We had completely different win conditions. See, my goal, my win condition, was all about being factually correct. I just needed to prove that my process was logical. But Priya's goal, it was about relationship harmony. She needed me to acknowledge our shared frustration, not defend my precious algorithm. It was like I was optimizing for memory usage when the real problem was network latency. We weren't even on the same playing field.
So we finally make it to the wedding in Mumbai, and it was beautiful, but my brain was still stuck on that argument. I started watching other couples, trying to figure out their dynamics, and I realized I needed a completely new protocol. Not for winning arguments, but for handling failure gracefully. I needed an apology algorithm.
This was the light bulb moment. I was talking to Priya's uncle after he apologized to his wife for something that wasn't even his fault, and he said this to me. Establish care, not precedent. And wow, my whole life had been about setting precedents, about being right for the next time. He was telling me to just focus on the person, right here, right now. So I went back to my hotel room and I actually designed a new algorithm. It starts with detecting hurt, not with figuring out who's at fault. And here's the absolute key. Step 3 comes before Step 4. You express regret for their pain before you even start calculating your own blame. It's empathy first, analysis second.
This is really the whole shift in a nutshell. My old code was just a simple if-then statement. Am I at fault? If yes, apologize. If no, defend. But the new algorithm changes the very first question. It's not about me, it's about them. It asks, is someone I care about hurt? And that one little change, well, it reframes everything that follows.
Okay, so a theory is one thing, but does this thing actually compile in the real world? Back home, I got my first chance to run the new code. Priya was in a total panic. She had this huge client presentation the next day, and her internet just died. Completely died. She was cut off from the final version of her slides on the cloud. Now, the old me would have instantly jumped into solution mode. Just use your phone's hotspot. Let's go to a coffee shop, which honestly would have just made her more stressed. But instead, I ran the new algorithm. I detected her frustration, and I just expressed regret for her experience. I said this to her, and I swear you could physically see the tension just melt from her shoulders. All I did was offer empathy, not a fix.
A week later, I learned the algorithm needed an upgrade. See, I was late for dinner because of work, again. My standard apology, the sorry I'm late, just didn't cut it. Priya pointed out, very calmly, that this wasn't a bug. It was a feature. It was a pattern. That's when I realized apologies aren't flat. They're nested. They have layers. First, there's the surface apology for the specific thing, being late. But that's just the start. Below that is the pattern. You have to apologize because this keeps happening. Then you go deeper to the system, apologizing for the flawed logic in my own head that was causing the pattern. And finally, the meta layer, apologizing because it took me so long to even see what was going on. A real apology has to hit all those layers.
This whole journey taught me something really profound. In software, right? We know we can't write perfect, bug-free code. The goal is to write code that fails gracefully and can be fixed quickly. Well, relationships are exactly the same. The goal isn't to be some perfect person who never messes up. It's to have a really robust, sincere system for recovery. The apology? It's your debugger.
And then came the final exam, the ultimate stress test for my new algorithm. I was working on a shared document with Priya, and through some bizarre combination of keystrokes, I accidentally deleted 3 hours of her work. Her deadline was the next day. The work was just gone.
Old Arjun would have launched into a full-blown technical defense about software bugs and faulty keyboards. But new Arjun? He just owned it. Immediately. No excuses, no justifications. I just took full responsibility for the impact of what happened.
And here's the truly amazing part. Because I didn't waste a single second defending myself, she didn't have to waste any energy being mad at me. We skipped the fight. We just skipped it. The apology became a tool for resource allocation. It immediately focused all our combined energy on solving the actual problem. And you know what? We spent the rest of the night working together, and we managed to recover almost all of it. So that's really the heart of it. The next time you find yourself in a disagreement, at work, at home, with anyone, just pause and ask yourself this one simple question. Are you optimizing for being right, or are you optimizing for the relationship? Because there's a pretty good chance you might be trying to solve the wrong problem.